Round 1. DJ Dance versus the obstacles of life. Fight!
Time right. It's almost time, baby. You ready?
I'm so ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Now, make sure y'all hitting the thumbs up. Make sure y'all comment and let us know where y'all tuning in from. The show Get 'Em to the Metaverse is about to start. Are y'all ready?
Yeah.
Come on, make some noise. Put some fire emojis in the comment section. It's about to be insane. It's about to be insane. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Let's go. Yeah. It's called Get 'Em to the Metaverse. You gotta get 'em to the Metaverse. That's Joy. That's
Hey,
Joy
y'all.
over
Hey,
there.
y'all.
It's me.
Jada.
It's me right here. It's called Get 'Em to the Metaverse. You gotta get 'em to the Metaverse. Let's go.
Woo!
Hold up. Hey, hold up. You know now. Listen now. We got the vibe. But first of all, how you feeling, Joy Rain?
Hey, everybody. I am feeling amazing. But welcome to another episode of Get 'Em to the Metaverse. You know, we always have some amazing guests on this show. And today is no short than all the other ones. We are super excited for our special guest. But before we get into all of that, Jay Dunn, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling real good. See, I go low with it. I'm feeling real good.
Hey.
Yeah, because the show Get 'Em to the Metaverse is on now. I said it fast. I said it real fast, huh? Yeah. Look, man, y'all know this is the littiest, liviest Metaverse podcast in the entire Metaverse and world. With your host, Jay Dunn, your host, Joy Rain, where our mission is to help to make the extraordinary metaverse an ordinary part of life. And we're excited to be back. It feels good, you know.
Yeah.
You know, your boy feeling good, your girl looking good. Joy, your girl, you're looking good. You're looking tasteful. You looking tasteful, but you know we ain't gonna get into that how tasteful she looks today. Joy, I'm excited because Get 'Em to the Metaverse episode 26 is going to be one of the best ever. Okay, it's gonna be one of the best ever, and I'm excited to see one person was in the chat super early. We gotta give him a happy hey. He says, "I go by Price, trying to do better." You made it. You in here. He said I'm on YPT time. I'm going to act like I don't even know what that means. We just going to leave that there. That's amazing. But welcome to the Get 'em to the Metaverse podcast. Dane said, yes, sir. Got to get 'em to the Metaverse.
Hey,
That's
welcome,
right.
Dane.
We appreciate you, fam. We appreciate you. But you know, we don't want to lollygag too much because we got a lot to talk about today. In fact, we need to get into this week's breaking news. You ready to get into breaking news?
Let's go.
All right, let's go. All right, so first of all, now, as we get into this week's breaking news, we have to start off with a leak. So this has become an annual thing when a new Quest device comes out. I don't know if this is something that Meta's doing intentionally. I think they are. But last year, the Quest Pro was found at a random hotel by a random person who was cleaning up, and now...
And they just so happened to video it and put it out there.
Put it out there, show the docking station. Well, with this here, as you can see, the Quest 3 in a very small package here. Is being shown off. That's not what she said. Hopefully that's not what she said. All right. But anyway, that's not what Joy said. I have to put that out there. So anyway, Quest 3 controllers are being showed off in this leak, and it gets us kind of hyped because number one, it just shows how much smaller this thing is because first of all, pay attention to the actual white area of it when the video kind of goes back to that. The interface is much smaller, but the facial interface is much bigger, and we just found out something really cool about that. The lenses now with with new technology can push down and push up depending upon if you're wearing glasses. What do you think about this, Joy? Because I know sometimes you have to wear glasses. What do you think about that?
I'm excited for it. I'm going to be looking to getting the lenses that attach to it.
Of course.
VR Wave, if you're listening, please make sure you have those ready because we want to get those out.
Yes.
For when we first get them when they release. But the first thing I noticed on there was that head strap that needs to be changed out.
Oh man, listen,
that was the
y'all.
first thing that I noticed.
Listen, I'm
like.
It is hard. Listen, the first thing you need to do, I doubt seriously because I just know this is not their way. I'm sure none of the Quest 2 straps will work with this. We got the Kiwis, we got the Bobos. This house is full of head straps. Okay, go back to the Getting Things Done channel. There's about 1 billion videos on head straps. So it's gonna be head strap season over here. Every day y'all gonna see a new head strap video coming. But yeah, I don't know what Meta's doing. Meta, if you're listening, you just should bundle the Elite strap with every single Quest purchase. I just don't understand. I understand you want to keep the cost down, but come on. All right. That I did notice that. But what I wish, and you said it the other day, why did they not make the Quest 3 black? Because the front with those cameras, the Quest Pro is the most sexiest VR device out there, okay? And it's like, come on, man, come on. You want to see that. And look, and we got a super chat by Game and Drink saying, it's been a while, fam. Hey, we appreciate you, brother. Look, man, you are putting $2 into the Quest 3 fund because listen, I got to buy 2 of them things. And it's be a lot, man. So we appreciate y'all giving, man, and showing love. But honestly, that's the Quest 3, and it's being a leaky leak. Okay, it's being a leaky leak. But we gonna move on from the Quest 3.
We're excited for it.
Now here's another thing that weren't even expecting to come out. But VR chat is now out on mobile in an alpha. This is pretty big news because, as you know, our particular metaverse home of choice is Horizon Worlds. It is not out on mobile and web. It's not out there. And now VR chat don't beat them to the punch. Okay? All right? So here's the dealio. It's really cool. I actually got this news last week, put it out there for everyone to know. So the cool thing is it runs all Quest enabled worlds. So if it's a world that can run on Quest, you can run it in landscape and in portrait, which is kind of insane. And it's an early alpha. And I'm gonna tell you, I got a chance to see some of this firsthand. I'm not a VR Chat Plus subscriber because in order to get this, you have to be a VR Chat Plus subscriber, which is I think it's like $10 a month. And I was like, I'm not in VR Chat that much to do that, but I did get to see it close in hand. And I got to tell y'all, it's something else to be able to be in a VR world on your phone, which is kind of crazy. So I'm
Yeah.
really, really curious to see. This is beginning to be the play. You got Rec Room, Roblox. Now you got VR chat. You got all these different metaverse like experiences aiming for headsets and
Mhm.
for mobile. I think this can be big. What do you think about that, Joy?
Yeah, I think that it just plays into trying to get as many people exposed to this technology. Like if you don't have a headset and you can, log in on your phone, and then you want to take that leap, it'll make you want to take
Yeah.
that leap of getting a headset to be fully immersed. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, I'm all for more people getting into metaverse like experiences.
Yeah.
And I'm sure our guest today, a lot of these things are built upon, a particular platform that he's connected to. So we're going to have a lot of fun to talk about how this can work in from their angle as well for where this particular guest. We're not going to go into that right now because we want to leave that not suspicious because y'all know who it is, but we want to get in there when we get into that. All right. So we're going to get into the next piece here, which is Apple Vision Pro also sort of kind of has had some leaks and some developers are getting some first hands on, and there was a particular developer who decided to leak and allow someone else who was not under the NDA to
He
see it.
went
And
against his NDA.
yeah, and I'm just gonna say, let's just have a moment of silence for that developer because Apple is gonna come down on you like the
Yes.
hammer of Thor. Okay, it's not gonna be pretty. You'll never make an app for Apple devices again. But hey, thank you for leaking it so that we can know what else is going on with the device. But some cool information came from this leak that it's possibility that the Apple Vision Pro will have a terabyte of space in it. Now we don't know if that's
That's
going to be the
insane.
base model. We don't know if that's going to be the highest model. So we know this thing starts off at $3,500. So if they give us a $3,500 device, but it's got 256 gigabytes, I'm gonna scream. Okay, I'm gonna scream. Okay, I will tell Meta, I will tell everyone. We need to the base of all of these devices going forward needs to be 512 and above at least. This
Okay.
128 stuff is for the birds. I really hope Quest 3 launches with more space. I need as much space as you could possibly give me. And this
Yeah.
Vision Pro for $3,500. I
Come
saw
on
her go off
now.
on this. You better give me a terabyte. You better give me a terabyte, okay? I'm gonna be really upset about it. What do you got to say about Joe? Because I'm getting angry over here. I'm getting angry over here.
I see that you're getting emotional about it. But one thing that I saw is that he said that it's a phenomenal piece of engineering. And so for him to say that it makes me even more excited for when it comes out. Now, there are some things that he said that like the
Mm,
battery life is limited um and there are some other things that you have to that he was disappointed about, but I mean, hey,
yeah.
it hasn't even been released yet. That's first
Yeah.
thing, and they have time to
Uh,
get these things together.
yeah,
But
$3,500.
overall, it's
$3,500. Okay. Listen, I cried. We're gonna release the video, y'all, on a launch day. We might need a bid. We need to put this behind a paywall. I don't know, but there's a
yeah.
video when Tim Cook said one more thing, and here it is, and it was a tear. Okay, a
And
tear,
I
and
got
Joy
it in
was
full
recording.
fidelity.
I mean, I was like,
Like,
we're finally legitimized. It's gonna be incredible, man. And I was like, get that camera out of my face. So literally, I'm excited. We're aiming to buy 2 of those things in this house. We got Quest 3s. We gotta get Apple Vision Pros. My gosh. Look, if anybody want to sponsor us right now, this is an opportunity of a lifetime, okay? But anyway, as we continue, I'm excited about the Vision Pro. I'm excited that it is still in beta. It's still early for
yeah,
them. They still can change a lot of things about how this thing works
absolutely.
and functions. And hopefully, I'm still hoping for a day for controllers, haptics, things like that to come to this, even if it's third party who's making it. We're looking forward to seeing more and more what happens with this device. Last piece of news
Yeah.
today, and then we're gonna be done, is Pico has decided, ByteDance, TikTok owner, has decided that they want to go into hand tracking similar to Apple. I'm seeing a trend here, Joy.
Yeah, they're trying to take away those controllers and
Controllers.
make you be able to just,
Yeah, but I don't know. I just feel like gamers gonna game, And here's the thing:
yeah.
even with the Vision Pro, when they talked about the games, there's like, and you can pair a PlayStation 5 controller because they still know you need buttons. Okay,
Yeah.
so I don't know if VR is quite there yet. I do believe with Quest 3, the depth sensor, what they're doing with HTC, the Elite. The depth sensor, this and that. I think that's going to help a lot with the hand tracking. There's already some really cool things with hand tracking 2.2
Yeah.
and some multi-model things they're doing to make it to where you can now have hand tracking and controller tracking at the same time, which I think is going to make us some cool stuff. I'm thinking about like golfing. You have, your one hand there, you can wave at somebody, be like, oh, hey, and you begin, I'm excited about this, but I'm still thinking it might be too early to say it's time to just cut controllers completely and
I
just
mean,
go.
the hand tracking has to be on point.
Correct.
I get aggravated. I'm just being honest. I get aggravated when my hand tracking doesn't work. I'm like, okay, I'm fumbling
Listen,
around. I'm like,
y'all
I
don't
cannot
wanna.
deal with it. I do not like when my hand tracking doesn't work. So I'm for the controllers.
Listen, Joy is. You want a beta tester? You need to get Joy to beta test your app. She will find a way. She will. This is not good. I'm not playing this game again. Okay. If there's any barrier, she could be like, nope, nope, nope.
No,
But
we gotta
yes,
do-
so that is all of our breaking news this week. So now we're going to get into the last piece before we get into our guests, and it's the apps of the week. Now, Joy, this every week, y'all.
Don't
Hold on,
you
let me
do
put the
this to
camera on me. I'm put the camera on me. Every week I ask her, what is your app of the week, Joy? She knows she says every single week. I have to pull out of her a different app. Horizon Worlds. All right, so why is this week Horizon Worlds for your...
First of all,
Go
don't
ahead.
play me because my app of the week last week was Poker Stars and I had fun in it.
Yes, you did.
But I had to come back to my home, Horizon Worlds, and the reason
Yes.
being is because we celebrate the 1-year anniversary of Joy in the Morning.
Woo!
Oh my gosh, it has been 28 episodes, 3 seasons,
Yes.
10 episodes per season. It's just insane.
Yeah.
So we have 2 more episodes left of season 3, and I am so excited. We've had some phenomenal guests. We've had an incredible audience that contribute to the conversation.
Yes.
And so I am so excited and so pleased of how Joy in the Morning is going along. So Horizon Worlds is my app of the week.
Okay, and you see us dancing on screen here, y'all. We were getting down. This was right before the anniversary show. I was the
Yeah.
host, and I said, we had a live DJ in there, and we was getting down to some. You won't break my soul. It was getting in, all right. So we was having us a good time, as you can see. But yes, we love Horizon Worlds, and it's a great app, and it's something that keeps giving back to us. So we continue to spotlight it here as well.
Absolutely.
All right, now my app of the week is a lot different, y'all. Your boy been getting fit. Okay. And all right now, Joy. Be careful now. Be careful now, girl. Anyway, so Thrill of the Fight has been my app of choice. And let me tell y'all, if you have never got into Thrill of Fight, I have bought this app day one of buying the Quest 2, never played it for 2 years. Never played it. Got it because I heard so many people talk about it. Got it, never played it. They have a new pass-through mode with the Quest Pro, or Quest 2. You can get it in beta. Downloaded it, and I was fighting somebody in my room. I knocked stuff off the wall.
Yes, he did.
Okay,
I was like, what is going on?
There's a video on our Instagram and our YouTube channel. You can go find it. Like literally, I'm like ducking and I am knocking this guy out. Okay, and it felt good, but the next day my entire upper body was extremely sore, and that's when I realized that Thrill of the Fight honestly is no joke. You literally can lose weight and get in shape just playing this one app every single day. It's incredible. Joy, do you remember hearing me come out the room after finishing Thrill of the Fight?
Yeah, I was like, what is going on? First of all, you was drenched in sweat. And I'm
Yes.
like, what have you been doing? What is going on? And you explained it to me and you did the video and I saw it and I'm like, this is incredible. I love it.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So that is Thrill of the Fight. Now, this is the last thing before we get in our guests, and this is our new app of the week, and that is Bounce Shot. Okay, so Bounce Shot is an all new game. You'll be seeing it on our channel very, very soon. That's all about, believe it or not, beer pong. Okay, so you play beer pong with up to 7 other people in multiplayer. You got 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2, 2 versus 1 modes, as well as others coming out very soon. And I got in here and I'm like, wait a minute, me and Joy decided we gonna make this one of our date night videos because we love a good competition. And
Yeah.
here's the thing, you can swat the other person's ball out. So let's just say Joy ain't gonna never get a ball in the cup because I'm just gonna be swatting McDotton, okay? You can
We
call me
shall
swatting
see.
McDotton, okay?
We
But
shall see.
listen, I am excited. I am excited because that concludes our first half of the show, and we're super duper excited to get into the next half because this is where Joy gets to take over. But I want to check in with the audience real quick. We had Dane's live with the fire emojis a little earlier. Yes,
Hey.
sir. Game of Drinks is talking about VRC Plus on mobile is interesting. I absolutely agree. And of course, Price, who is early still saying fire, fire, fire. So we really
Hey.
appreciate you. But listen, before we get into this intro, I want to say this about our guest. He is one of the most genuine and authentic voices in our XR community. We are
Mhm.
so blessed to have him on our show. We're honored to have him, and we're going to bring him in right after this short intro. You ready, Joy?
Let's go.
Let's go. Manuel Sincerely is a multidisciplinary artist born in Guadalupe. He's a storyteller with a deep foundation to his Caribbean roots that ignites the fire of creativity while also making him a strong advocate of ethics, diversity, and inclusion, as well as ecology. He is a Caribbean futurist with a master's in computer science that is at the forefront of cutting edge technologies, specializing in mixed realities, haptics, computer vision, and AI. As a senior advocate in Unity Montreal, he leverages his experience to drive innovation and inspire the next generation of tech enthusiasts. He has worked with top tech companies like IBM, Apple, Meta, and Microsoft, while also collaborating with up-and-coming tech companies like OpenAI. He is always on the move as he continues to push the XR space forward, speaking at conferences and collaborating with artists all around the world. So without further ado, let's welcome our very special guest, Manu.Vision. There we
Welcome.
go. Welcome.
What's up, everyone?
Yo. Welcome to Get 'em to the Metaverse. We got the man himself. How you feeling today, brother?
I'm feeling good. I've been laughing, muted the whole show. You guys are too much. I love it.
Hey man, it's what we do. It's what we do. We love this show. We love the Metaverse, and we love having you as our special guest. And I love this part of the show even more, where Joy Rain takes over and asks these incredible questions. Now, Manu, are you ready for this part of the show?
I don't think I am, but I am.
Let's go, Joy.
Yes, again, welcome to Get 'em to the Metaverse, and we're just going to get right into it. So, how did you first get exposed to mixed reality, and what was your first experience like?
Wow. Okay, so I had a friend who actually had the Nintendo VR. You know, this kind of like big red thing that you used to put on your face. It was like back in the before the 2000, and I was very young, probably like 6 years old, and I was already. I think that was my first VR
The
experience.
Virtual
Then
Boy. Virtual Boy.
the Virtual Boy, thank you, that
Yeah.
one. Then I would say when it comes to augmented reality, I actually made an app in back in 2011. I was working for a company in Montreal that was making a lot of mobile app for conferences and for festivals. And Montreal is a huge city for tech and music. And so we have this kind of festival every year called La Nuit Blanche, where basically the city is open for 24 hours. Restaurants and shops, they don't close for the entire night, and
Mhm.
people get to see a lot of different things around the world. They can see art exhibition, museums are open and stuff like that, and it's a bit overwhelming if you're visiting and you don't know where to go. So the app experience we were making was a very early wayfinder, and you had a basically a camera. It was tapping into the phone camera, and you
Mhm.
could see an arrow pointing you at different objects, and you could direct yourself in the city. And that was
Wow.
very early. It was not really purely
Wow.
AR like we have AR Kit right now and a lot of other stuff. But at the time, that was my first experience having a layer over, the real world content.
Awesome.
Oh wow, that's
Wow. That early on in the in
Yeah.
geez. All right, let's get some we need to get some horns on because that is extremely early to say that you were making an app of that type way back
yeah.
Yeah.
then, man. That is
I had
incredible.
a I had this other experience that was a year later. I mean, sorry, 3 years later. You remember the official first Oculus developer kit, right?
Yes.
And before it was called Quest, before Meta purchased the company. And I was working at the time for MindGeek, the company that owns a bunch of adult websites. You know this story.
Yes.
And I was basically a UX designer trying to bring ethical mindset, user research to the company. I ended up leaving, but I learned a lot with them. And my first experience was building a VR web player. I was working with Harvard student, which was my intern at the time, my developer intern, and I was the
Ooh,
designer. So we built the first UI UX experience for Play, Pause, Next, which we now see in YouTube and a bunch of other apps. It's literally one and one the same user
Wow.
experience.
yeah.
That is insane, man. That is insane.
Awesome, awesome. So walk us through your journey of becoming the founder and head of mixed reality design for IBM Canada.
So that was crazy. I was working as a consultant for IBM since 2017. I was already pretty much inspired by everything AR VR and wanted to make it my full-time career. But my career was really focused on design and UI UX, and that was the meat of what I was doing. And
Okay.
in 2018, I made a challenge with myself that I would learn 3D design and 3D art, and I started learning Blender from scratch. I mean, I had experience with Blender when I was young, like probably 16, 17 years ago, but the interface was not really appealing to me, so I didn't really put a lot of effort into it, and I was working with
Understand
other
that.
programs, right? And then back in 2018, I was like, it looks like Blender is becoming more and more important for the world of XR
Hmm.
and content creation. And I was feeling bad about being inspired about VR and developing for it without having the chance to bring my own content. I was tired of just pulling
Mm,
other content from other platforms. So I taught myself 3D. IBM has this amazing program for internal employees where you can dedicate a few hours per week or per month to self-learning, and
Wow.
they give you a chance to do up to like 40 hours a year, I think, which represent kind of a week of work given to you to do that.
yeah.
But I made a challenge to break it 10 times and do 400. And why is because I was
Wow.
reading a book that said if you dedicate at least 1,000 hours to something, then you can call yourself an expert or at least feel like it. And I
Wow.
told
Come
myself,
on,
if I
man.
can do 400 per year, maybe after 3 years, I will be good enough to kind of say I can make 3D art.
Yeah.
So I ended up doing that, and then by the end of the year, I was trying to create stuff that I just wanted to make me happy, right? But what I was making was already good enough to create really, I would say, like legit content. And
Yeah.
so after doing that for so long, obviously my colleagues were always seeing me coming to work with my blender on and everything, and they're like, "And it looks like you should probably like double deck on like VR and AR stuff."
Yeah.
And so I started talking to a few VPs internally and talking to people about VR. IBM was not, I would say, a pioneer of that space at the time, or at least not,
Mhm.
commercially or marketing wise. But I ended up seeing that there was a lot of people internally that were working in XR, and they didn't have a real point of view from a design perspective. It was always development, engineering.
Yeah.
And I wanted to bring that design touch, especially since I was in Canada. Not a lot of developers here were really aware of it, and I started working on an internal curriculum to teach design for XR, like the good practices,
Mhm.
and I ended up, building the entire department from scratch. We had from one member up to 100 after a year, and
Wow.
that's when
Wow.
we built that design department.
Come, man. Listen,
Okay.
it's gonna be a lot of arms claps because it's just innovation all the way through. In fact, Dane's Live even said it best. Wow, innovator for real. Like
Yeah.
absolutely innovating from is and then I love that you're coming to work, you got the blender open, you're trying to get in. I wanna go real quick somewhere because you
Yeah.
kind of entered and said you knew you wanted to work in XR and VR. You knew you wanted to do that. What made that
Yeah.
thing click for you just from that statement that you were just saying? How did you
Yeah.
know that that was something you
That
wanted
was
to
a
go
trip
into?
to Greece. At the time, I was working at work with my colleague called Chris Yazbek, and he was also my roommate. Super cool dude, and he works as a developer, right? And now he's a PM, and he works into way more than just development. But at the time, we were working together. Like our desk was next to each other at home, and we were working at IBM like really hard. And every night, he would see me continuing to work after work on stuff that I'm really passionate about. And it was like, Manu, like that looks like that's something you're really passionate about. And it
Mm-hmm.
made him passionate about learning more about design and 3D and XR himself. And Chris has also an experience working at Apple in the actual store, so he has a lot of experience also with the brand and with tech in general. So we
Wow.
started hyping each
Oh,
other up and just like learning out of passion and literally making our dreams reality. We went to Greece together, did a kind of a friend trip, and during that trip we came back and started writing our why. And the Start with the Why book
love
from Simon
that.
Sinek was a huge, huge, huge influence. I still have the book over there. Like
Wow.
that's something that made me realize, what am I doing in this world aside from just having fun and making money and etc. Like what is the goal of all of this?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
making it clear for me helped me like come out here.
Man, I
I
love that, man. Oh, Joy,
love.
this is good. Let's go.
It's
Let's
so
go.
good. That's so good. So, moving on, and we're going to progress. So, explain to us your role at Unity.
Oh, so the role at Unity is something that currently has really evolved from the moment I started the company back in 2021. That was February. I joined as a a UX designer, senior UX designer, and I joined an amazing team on the architecture side of the company, building apps and tools, multi-platform, VR, mobile, tablet, PC, web, specifically for the AEC industry, so architecture, engineering, constructions. And then my role evolved. I became a lead and then a manager. And after 2 years, I realized that even though I was really having fun and working at Unity is amazing, I was doing a lot on freelance side of things when it comes to AI and XR, and my
Mm.
Oh,
voice was becoming bigger and bigger. I mean, I've been doing public speaking for the past 10 years. I've been a teacher for a long time, but
yeah,
design and public speaking, there is something in between that was really hard for me to define. And whenever someone would tell me, "What do you do for a living?" I was
Yeah.
always stuck. I was always stuck like having like a list of things to say or nothing to say.
yeah,
And I just decided that it's time for me to assume this role, to seek what I want. And obviously we went through a lot with my family this year. We lost my stepfather, for
Yeah.
example, my
I'm so
father-in-law,
sorry
sorry,
to
like
hear that.
earlier in the year.
Yeah.
It's okay, thank you. And because of all these different things, I just accepted who I really am
Yeah.
and said out loud what I want. And amazing people in the company pushed me to actually talk to the right people and really just like embrace who I am and become a senior advocate. And that's my current role at Unity, where I'm basically a public speaker, an educator, and someone that do community building. But for the company, we travel around the world and we talk about AI tools and stuff like that.
Come on, man.
I
Ah.
love that.
The,
I love that. I
the,
love what you said about, speaking it basically speaking it into existence. I absolutely love that part of
Manifesting.
what you said.
yeah,
Yes.
and then knowing your why is so powerful. Even linking
Hmm.
back into the job, saying that I'm doing this freelance work, but I'm really enjoying that. I wish I can merge that with my job as well to make it just my why always be. That
Yes.
is the dream, man. Okay, it is the dream to wake up every day. You're a content creator, we're content creators. It's to wake up and do what we love, making content on for
Yes.
pay for every day. I don't have to do nothing else but that. That would be incredible. So when I'm seeing you travel the world, man, I'm like, man, he doing it, man. He doing
It's
it.
a
I
He
mean,
doing
beautiful
I
it.
feel privileged. We're so
sight.
lucky, right, to be able to do that, and it's not something everybody can decide to do. Like I come from a very poor background, and like being able to like do this in North America and continue to represent our culture and so on, that's so big to me that I keep pinching myself every day, saying like, wow, that's what I'm doing, right? And I have to remember my background and what I do, because sometimes it's easy to forget and like just be caught into the business of it. But the
Yeah.
reality is that that's the reason why I did work on my why, because it becomes my North Star, my moral compass on every decision I make. The
Yeah.
amount of contract I'm saying no to, that's insane. Because what I say yes to has to follow those rules of, is it related to nature, culture, future? If it's not one of those three rhyming words, I don't want to hear it.
Oh man, did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that?
Yes.
I hope y'all hear that. That might be one of the things we drop because my goodness, you got to know if you don't have your why, you don't know what to say no to. You don't know what to veto.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't know what I said it the other day. I said purpose will bring opportunity, but every opportunity is not purposeful.
Yes.
Lead with
Well said.
purpose and opportunity will continue to open up doors for you. You know, man. Listen, Joy, you better.
I really hope the audience is paying attention to this and leaving
I
some
see
thumbs
Dames.
up
I see
and
Dames in the
fire
chat saying
emojis.
it.
Yes, because this is incredible. I hope y'all are taking notes because these gems are
Look, I
like,
feel like a preacher right now.
everything.
I need y'all putting in the chat nature, culture, future. Okay, all right. You better put that in the
Yes,
chat. All right. Let's go, Joy.
yes. So, what do you feel is Unity's superpower when it comes to mixed reality?
I
Ooh.
think what a great question. First of all, can we pause? Like Joy keeps blessing us with the questions, and I've been watching other episodes, and the guests are always surprised. You know when you do what it's called, hot ones, the one with the spicy sauce. Like
Yes.
people keep
Yeah,
saying, like the interviewer is the biggest part, not the guest, and that's what I see in you guys. Like you're just good with those.
thank
So I
you.
think I had to say it. Unity has a unique position, which is being in the middle of all of it, right? Like they partner with Google, with Meta, with OpenAI, with all of the big companies that we continue to work with and play with when it comes to hardware, software in XR. And they've been building this amazing engine that everybody uses to build those platforms, to build those apps, and developers are using it to create experiences, not only
Mhm.
in games, entertainment, but also, like I said, in all those digital twins industry, AEC, ATM, architecture, but also automotive transformation, uh, manufacturing. So
Yeah.
being in the forefront of all of that and being able to also understand that market allow them to be the platform of choice, not because they are trying to follow the hype, but because they've been there for a long time. Like the engine
Yeah.
is double decade. Like I was a baby when the company started, and now I work for them because I've been using it when I was a kid, inspired to maybe one day work for
Wow.
them. So I feel like
Yeah.
I'm not even competent enough to speak on it yet. That's what I'm doing, and I think that gives them an edge on the rest to be able to actually continue to provide that for us.
I mean, man, I
Yeah.
mean, to be honest, Unity is everywhere, man. I've been hearing Unity
Yes.
is iOS, Android is on, it's
And now
XR,
Apple.
it's yeah,
Right.
XROS, it's literally spatial computing's ground layer. You know, it's kind of crazy when you think about that. You know, you have Unreal Engine, but you know, I've found over the years. I'm not a developer. I say it all the time. I'm not a developer, but I look at these APIs. I'm looking at all this information, and I'm going, you know, Unity gets a lot of love, man. And Unreal Engine doesn't quite get that same connecting dots in the API. So
You know
I
what's
just
funny with that is
go
that
ahead.
I don't really compare the two anymore. Like I used to as a gamer, I
Ooh.
was like, oh, like Unreal Engine is AAA, Unity is more like XR and mobile. And obviously, if you look into the statistic of like how many apps and games are made, like Unity is still winning stats wise. Maybe not in the, I would say, the market because people don't really relate or think about it this way. And especially when you think about Fortnite money and like the amount of power that Unreal has thanks to that.
Yeah,
But then when
Yeah.
it comes to the actual engine and what they do, I don't compare them anymore because I think they're trying to do very different things, even though they have a lot of things really similar and they're definitely battling on some aspects. But internally, when we work on things, we usually don't tend to compare and we just say what we are doing it for and why we should use this engine for it. But as a
love it.
personal person, like obviously we're talking about Unity right now and I'm an employee, but I can speak on myself. Like I have Unreal Engine installed and I use it for some different reasons that I use Unity for. And I
Yeah,
think it would be a shame to kind of block yourself in one or the
say
other when
that.
you can actually
Mhm.
use both for some reasons.
This is why we try our best to be open to all VR, all XR devices. We went to
Yes.
AWE this year, got a chance to test out a lot of cool
Oh,
stuff, and not try to be locked in so much to one ecosystem and try to spread those wings a little bit. And I think you get to learn a little bit from everything. And when you do have those opportunities to sit in a room with some of those key holders, you be like, well, look, this other platform does this. If you could do this, and this will assist there, or this is just a separate area that you don't even need to be worried about because that's their area, you know? So I love that.
well said.
Love that. All right, Joy, what you got?
Yes. Yes. Oh, and I want to shout out to Hacking Reality. They said they're so happy to catch us live. We're so happy that you're
Hey,
here. Yes, yes.
Yes.
And so we're going to shift gears a little bit and we're going to talk about AI. And how do
ooh,
you feel about the direction AI is going? Are you afraid or are you excited or what is that feeling?
ooh. I like that question because I think obviously, like, I'm getting just tired of hearing about it, to be
Come
honest,
on.
even though
I
I work
know,
with it.
right? That's the first thing. It's
But not
everywhere.
because Right. It's like it's becoming the buzzwords a little bit like when metaverse was the buzzwords. And I love
Yes.
how you, for example, rebranded it in a way that feels completely natural now. We're not saying the metaverse anymore and more like, oh,
Yeah.
get into the metaverse. And like we know what it is now. We know the tech, we know the stack.
Yeah.
I hope that AI gets to this point at some point so that people realize that it's been there. Like I have this talk that I do now every time we're on developer day for Unity. And I always start by saying, do you know, can you cite me like a few smart assistants? Like we Alexa, Siri, Google Home, those are AI. That's
Mhm.
smart assistant, and we used to call them assistant. And then you have automatization with IoT.
Yeah.
Then we have smart cars and being able to have things personalized to like Spotify playlist or Netflix movies. That's AI. And then nowadays, we're more into the large language models, into natural language processing, into machine learning and neural networks buildings. And this is another level for AI. But AI has always been there. It's been invented in the 50s and the
Yeah.
60s. That we're so young to this, and now we're not talking about assistant, like almost like you're on top and there's like a master and a slave, but more into equal level with it. It's a
Yeah.
Yeah.
co-creator, it's a muse. It's something that is helping you, that is inspiring you, that is adding to your workflow. And I want to get to that conversation anymore. And sorry, now instead of I'm afraid or I want it, and
Yeah.
because I feel
Right.
like that's what the business side of things is trying to drive. Fear makes people click and talk.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm using VR, I'm using AR. I'm not thinking about the metaverse. I'm thinking about what's the best platform to connect with my friends, or what's the best platform to have fun. And so I want it to become invisible. Like good design is invisible. That's one of my favorite quotes. So I
I love
think a
that.
good tech stack is invisible as well. And that's where we're going.
Man, I love that. Just number one, because really thinking about everything with AI. At this
Mhm.
point, I can't, really live without. What people don't even realize, even the technology on our phones that keeps your battery lasting as long as is artificial intelligence. Your home pod in your home, when you put it near your phone, and that's artificial. All those things are artificial intelligence. Just because we're going to this buzzword, like you said, of AI, you got things like mid journey, things like that out there. You're like, oh, well, I mean, yeah, all those things are AI, but they're just tools. We're looking at them as tools, and like you just said, eventually it's going to get to a place where I'm going to have be able to have a conversation. That's what they're getting us to, that
Yeah.
conversational AI, where I'm just treating you like I'm having a conversation. And so
Hmm.
I really just love to not have that fear leading mindset, but just taking it head on and trying to get to the ethics part of it, because I think that's where the fear comes in, the
Yes. And
ethics behind it.
thanks for
Yeah.
dropping that word because that's the biggest and most important part of what I'm trying to do, which is thinking consciously and ethically about the usage. Because as much as we shouldn't be afraid of using a tool and understand it, there are still really big threats related to technology as a whole, and not just AI, right? Like social media and XR, they bring their
Yeah.
amount of security issues and stuff like that. So when it comes to AI, especially when it comes to Unity, like they've updated their guiding principles. They released some back in 2018 or 17, I think, and they re-updated them this year before releasing their new tools because it was important to start the conversation not with we're replacing people or we're adding new tools and more with what are we really doing with this and
Mhm.
Yeah.
what is the goal and how should we approach that conversation, and also being vulnerable to say that we will make mistakes, but because we're having that conversation openly in real time and listening to the community, we can iterate on those things. We can be
That's so
cautious and conscious about it. And
Yeah.
right now we're seeing a lot of news about copywriting, about the writer strike and the movie strike with authors and,
mhm.
and artists. And I think those conversation needs to happen. Like they should have happened years ago. And we have the same issue with
Yeah.
the music industry being an entire monopoly. Like where that conversation happening? I'm happy that AI is forcing us to ask those questions now. Obviously, there will
Yes.
be change. Society will be changed. IBM just dropped a report actually recently saying that 40% of the workforce will have to upskill in the next
Yeah.
3 years.
Saw that.
That can be
Mhm.
scary for someone that don't want to change. But for me, it's like, oh, but we good. Like I've been upskilling myself. Like I didn't wait for AI for that. And I think everybody should have that mindset, period.
Yeah, no, I absolutely believe that it's so much more to this story, and I love how we're at this very beginning. I love to tell people all the time that we're at the very beginning. There's not many gatekeepers. There's beginning to be gatekeepers, right? But we're at a place where we can shape. We can say, no, this is not good. One of the famous
Right.
things that because we've been around VR and XR for a while, Meta did an experiment where they wanted to bring ads into games, and they decided to choose Blast On from a particular company. Now, this was a thing. It was a paid for game. So normally when you pay for a game, you don't shouldn't get ads. But the game end up was going to have ads, and the entire VR community was like, no, 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 that's
We
not
don't want that.
fair. We want, if it was a free app, okay, we understand, but we paid for this app, it's not fair. Meta stopped. They was like, you know what? I remember boss went on an AMA and he said, you know what? We heard your voice. We're not going to do it. But he did say something. He said, we're going to do it eventually. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but it's going to come. And hopefully,
Yeah.
like you just said, good design is invisible. Good ads, you don't know that you're being ad to. You don't know that you're being sold something when you're done right. So just wanted to add
Right.
that. But Joy, I'm loving this conversation. Let's continue this thing down.
All right. So what has been your most memorable experience in XR?
Oh wow. Okay, so there is this app that I've tried when I was working in as a haptician. So haptician means haptic designer or someone who works with haptics. It was like Immersion, the company that is behind the Taptic engine for the iPhone, the
Wow.
DualSense
Okay.
PS5 controller haptics, the Joy-Cons on Nintendo Switch haptics, and all that. And we had this VR headset experience. We were trying to basically try as many different multimodal experience as we can. So I had smell, taste on the tongue through electric signal,
Oh
touch
my gosh.
obviously with vibrotactile and temperature and so on. And we're trying to make a prototype that mixes all of it so we can have as many immersive senses as we can. And then this app came out on Quest, and it was the story of a blind man. And
Mm.
I was really impressed by it because they try to basically make you feel what it is to be blind in VR. So when you
Oh,
put the headset on, it's full black. You hear stuff, but you see nothing. And it starts with rain, like light rain, and then you start seeing droplets, but you don't see the droplets falling. You only see the splash on the floor because that's the sound that you hear. And then you
yeah.
hear people walking, but you only see splashes moving around you. And basically experiencing the world through the senses of audition
Wow, man.
instead of view.
Wow.
That was very impactful. I cried doing this because then it made you realize like how privileged we have all the
Yeah.
senses. We are to have all the senses. And I think that it's important to kind of remember not everybody can experience VR like we do. And
Yeah.
some people literally can't. But that is the
Yeah.
type of experience we can build for them, right?
Wow, man. Oh,
That's incredible.
listen, man. That almost brings a tear to my eye. Because man, XR and VR has such a way to get into your sensory. I couldn't even imagine if you could smell, taste, all that at the same time. I don't know, man. Depending on what the
It is
app
weird.
was, I don't know if I want to be able to taste what was in the app. But no, it's incredible because I've had some deep moments. Me and Joy have had the
Oh
moments
yeah.
of phantom touch where she'll hug me
Ooh,
and I'll feel the
yeah.
hug. I've been in an app. I talk about it a few times. Now is the time. A Martin Luther King application they put out
I
for
was
Black
about to
History,
say that was my
and
top two stories if you asked.
that
Oh,
thing,
that one.
get into
Oh,
that app and you get to that police part where you got your hands on the
Mm,
steering wheel and they're screaming at you. And I mean, as a person of color, it was
mhm.
very uncomfortable for me. And I was like, even in the app, I almost took off my headset because I couldn't take the feeling of it. And
Yeah.
so knowing that it's just changing. This has been a prayer of mine lately. Lord, you could take just about any, don't take my eyes because I don't want to miss out on all the good that's
You know
coming to
what?
XR VR. It's crazy.
There's something to be said about that because that's another example. The same with the blind person, right? Like I cannot experience the experience of being blind. I can get as close as I can, but even this app
yeah.
won't do justice to the reality of it. And this other
Exactly.
experience you mentioned, like I remember showing it to friends of non-color, of white Caucasians,
Yeah,
other senses and other races, of people that cannot experience the black experience, and them telling me that they feel even more empathetic towards the cause after
come
using
on.
this. Obviously, they will
Yeah.
never understand what it is fully, but being able to give them an experience that get them as close as possible to that sense so that we can have more empathy toward each other. And that's what building meaningful experience is about. It's making emotions. Like that's what movie was
Yeah.
about initially. Like make something moving.
Yeah.
Your senses, your emotions should be important and taking into account into building something. So yeah,
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. I'm loving this conversation. Mrs. Grey Wolf
me
just
too.
chimed in and said,
Hey
"Oh,
there,
was
welcome.
finally able to catch you guys live. We love the Grey Wolves over here. Appreciate you guys tuning in and checking us out live. But Joy,
Yes.
these questions been coming, so I know you got a few more. Let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Yes. So, what advice would you give someone who is looking to get into the XR AI space?
I would say you don't need to be afraid to try different things, right? A bit like what Jaden was saying earlier. It's about the versatility of skills, especially in this era right now. People are trying to find, what should be the thing that I learned so that I'm not missing out or that I'm future-proofing myself. And obviously, when you follow the people that are doing these things, whether it is you guys or all the different guests you had on your show, the common denominator is that these different people have literally all the hobbies. They are trying things. They are not afraid to try something
Yeah.
new. And
Yeah.
if you go into VR and AR, you don't need a lot of money to actually get into it. A lot of people think, oh my God, like the devices are expensive. I cannot do that. Well, that's fine. Start with a 360 experience on YouTube and start consuming content that comes from that platform. Try to have an AR experience on your phone. You probably have a smartphone. And if you don't have the latest phone, that's also okay. Like AR works on very old iPhones as well, and start building with it. Like don't think only consumer. Try to think about what does it take to actually build those experiences. Download Unity, it's free. Learn how to code. You have now a lot of free LLM besides ChatGPT that you can even use. And Unity has their own tools coming very soon where you will be able to actually use AI within the editor to learn how to make your own game. So this is coming, and especially with Apple Vision Pro coming very soon, I think it's the best moment to start. Even if you never had any experience before today, you're not late. It's still possible to actually catch up with everyone else.
Man, love that. Love that advice. That's some good advice. We gotta get at the DJ Horn because that's some good stuff, man. Because it is never too late to start. It's never too late to jump in and get these folks to the metaverse, man. I love it. Okay,
Yes.
I
Yes.
love it. I love it. What else you got, Joy?
So, the show is called Get Them to the Metaverse. How do you get people into the metaverse?
So you know what? We did that exactly this week. I have a friend, James Origo, who has created this amazing camp called Camp Norden for children that are battling cancer and other illness.
Oh,
And
wow.
basically, what they do is that they have a literal physical camp every year where all the kids are meeting together, having fun, fishing, camping, all of that. But some of them are too sick and have to be home for treatments. Some go through like 50 different operations in the hospital. It's very crazy. In the US, there is 38 kids that dies from cancer every single week. That's an insane stat when you think about it. And so for me, it was important to think about how can I give back to them. And I thought it would just be a camp on Zoom where we'll be hanging out with them and just having fun. But we ended up shipping to them a few quests. All of them had their quests. We obviously built the camp on like a 5 consecutive days session where we spent 3 hours with them every day, and then we just send them a bunch of gift code because you can add friends, on the Quest platform and send them games. We send them Beat
Yeah.
Saber, VR fishing, Walkabout VR golf, Sculpt VR, and
Oh,
all of these
That is
games.
incredible.
And then we started playing with them. And for some of them, obviously, they are very smart kids. Some had like VR experience before us, but for some, it was like their first ever experience with VR.
Yeah.
So like
oh.
seeing the magic in their eyes when they open the gift, when they get to see their friends, and when they can play together was insane. I see that you're putting the video right there. That was the last day when we said goodbye to them. Some of them
Yes.
literally telling us like they're gonna miss us, that they can't wait to play again. So
That's
we're gonna
crazy.
continue to do that every year and like do also a monthly with them. And they're always looking for volunteers. So if that story is moving you, you can contact the person that on my socials, and maybe be part of the gang next year.
That is
Wow.
incredible.
Man, oh, come on, y'all. We gotta get some. We gotta get some claps. We gotta get some DJ horns. That is what it's all about. Listen, the
Absolutely.
mission of Get 'em to the Metaverse is all about making the extraordinary metaverse an ordinary part of life. Okay, it is.
Yes.
It's not just about us enjoying the technology, but it's about other folks getting into it. So I absolutely love that. Now wait, y'all hear that?
It's
Is
time
that
for it.
is that
Uh-oh.
wait, is that thunder? Did we hear thunder just now? Because
Yes,
that
we
would
did.
actually mean it's time for the what?
Dunder round.
All right. So this is when we get into the last part of the show. We got 1 minute and 30 seconds on the question. Joy is going to give you some lightning round goodness. Are you ready for this, Manu? Are you ready, bro?
Let's go.
All right. So I'm gonna get the music ready, and here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Talking or texting?
Talking.
One word to describe yourself.
Poet.
Favorite XR app?
The one that Joy loves the most. Horizon.
There you go.
Favorite day of the week?
Wednesday.
iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
What's the first app that you open in the morning?
Notes.
Virtual reality or augmented reality?
AR.
If you were a superhero, what would your superpower be?
I would teleport.
Favorite season of the year?
Fall.
What is the last song you listened to?
Drake.
Beaches or mountains?
Bitches.
Who is your inspiration?
Drake. No, I'm kidding. It has to be Steve Jobs.
Okay. Mid-Journey or Dolly?
Dolly.
Which subject in school were you the worst at?
History.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Uh-oh, let's go.
Early bird or night owl?
Both.
Favorite genre of music?
Hip hop.
All
Favorite XR
right.
device?
Favorite what?
Favorite XR device?
Oh, has to be the Quest Pro right now, but that might change soon.
Hey, we love it. We love it. We love it. That was
Oh,
an
man.
incredible ending for this incredible show.
I
Listen,
can't believe I said dogs instead of cats, but I guess I stick to it.
yeah, that's it, man. That's it, man.
Yeah, that's
Look,
what
Miss
happens in
Greywood
the underground.
said, "Hey, Quest Pro gang. That's right. The Quest Pro is life. Quest Pro is life.
Hey,
Okay.
I still have my old stuff, like the cardboard from Google, like the $20
Okay.
one.
Okay, get that out of here.
Some gear.
Oh, now the gear. We get down with the gear.
Oculus 2, Oculus 3, up to the Quest Pro, and
Come
hopefully
on,
the Vision
man.
Pro one day.
Hey, man.
Yes.
We trying to get two of them things, man. But listen, Manu, this is your opportunity to tell the folks how they can keep up with you, how they connect with you, etc. Let's get into that real quick.
Honestly, I'm on every single platform at Manu.Vision. Manu.Vision is my website as well. So what you're seeing right there is the best way to contact me, and drop the @ and that's my website.
Man, love it, love it, love it. Enjoy. What do you have to say to the folks?
Thank you all so much for tuning in to another episode of Get 'em to the Metaverse. Make sure you hit those thumbs up and put some fire emojis and leave some comments and whatnot, and share this episode with some people, because look, some major gems were dropped. So
Yes.
thank you, and thank you again, Manu, for coming and being our special guest.
Thanks for having me. This was a dream of mine to be on this show. We made it
Hey.
happen. You
That's
said
right.
you're honored to have me, but I'm honored. That was
Hey,
really cool.
man,
Thanks a lot.
listen. It's always a great time to have great guests on this great podcast we call Get 'em to the Metaverse.
Get
Now
'em to
listen,
the Metaverse.
Now listen. Now y'all make sure, like my girl said, hit the thumbs up, hit the comments, let us know how much you enjoyed the show, and share it with some friends, because we will be back very soon with
Yes.
another incredible, amazing episode of Get 'em to the Metaverse. We'll see you guys soon. Peace.